Dear students, it is the third video for week 8 and we are learning the constitutional development in Pakistan. Dear students, in the video second, we came to know about objective resolution and the constitution of 1956. Now we are learning about the constitution of 1962. Dear students, in 1956, Pakistan got the first constitution, but unfortunately, this constitution was abrogated because of the political situation. I mean, the political situation in the country spread widely, agitation started, quarrels started, and then the first, say, martial law was implemented on the people, and finally, General Ayub Khan. General Ayub Khan became the martial law administrator and he took the powers. And later on, General Ayub Khan introduced the 1962 constitution, and with this constitution, he became the president of Pakistan. 1962 constitution is also one of the major constitutions, and these are the salient features of the main prominent features of the constitution. Feature 1, it was a written constitution just like the other constitutions of the world, and it was consisted of 250 articles, and there were 5 schedules. Number 2, 1962 constitution was flexible, that amendment, change, tarmeem can be made with 2/3 majority, mean the electoral college, the representative with 2/3 majority can change this constitution or amend. Federal system of government. In 1962 constitution, federal system of government was implemented, that the president, there was a main government, central government, and the provinces were connected with. System of government was federal, in which provinces were given autonomy under constitution. Separate lists were provided under the system for lawmaking, and every unit is free within the limits prescribed in the constitution. Cabinets were answerable to their respective assemblies. Clear? Federal system. सूबों को खुद मुख्तारी दी गई थी, और जो कैबिनेट्स थी, जो सूबाई काबीना थी, गवर्नमेंट थी, हुकूमतें थी, वो अपनी असेंबलीज के सामने जवाब देती थी. वर आंसरेबल whatever they were doing. Presidential government. All the powers of the government were vested to the president. He was all in all, and his cabinet were unanswerable to the legislature. This was really autocratic rule, that Ayub Khan, all the powers of the government were vested to president. President was all in all. Okay, and president and his cabinet, they were not under the control of legislature. कानून साज असम्बलियां उनको नहीं पूछ सकती थी. This was really one of the worst element of this constitution. Unicameral legislature. Central legislature were consisted on house, namely National Assembly. Unicameral. बस एक ही कानून साजी के लिए एक ही हाउस था, एक ही place. There was a one house, that was platform National Assembly. Members of the cabinet were not necessarily the members of the National Assembly. That कि जो कैबिनेट होती है, जो सूबाई जो प्रोविंस सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की कैबिनेट होती है, उसके मेंबर्स का नेशनल असेंबली से होना जरूरी नहीं था. मीन इट वाज द कंसेंट ऑफ द प्रेसिडेंट दैट whosoever he wishes can appoint as a minister. वो जिसको भी चाहता था वो he could include into the cabinet member. Electoral college for the elections of president and the members of assemblies, either national or provincial, was based on basic democracy. This is interesting point. Electoral college mean कि कौन से लोग वोट देकर प्रेसिडेंट को सिलेक्ट कर सकते थे या एमपीएस को सिलेक्ट कर सकते थे या एमएनएस को सिलेक्ट कर सकते थे. फॉर दिस अयूब खान इंट्रोड्यूस अ बेसिक डेमोक्रेसी सिस्टम. वो था काउंसलर्स ऑफ द यूनियन काउंसिल्स, देन मेंबर्स ऑफ द councils in big cities, they were the electoral college. कि वो लोग अपनी राय का इजहार करेंगे, वो लोग वोट देंगे, okay, and elections were held indirectly, okay, और उनके वोट से the president will be elected. So Ayub Khan was elected by the votes of the BD members, basic democracy members. आज भी पुराने लोग उन्हें बीडी मेंबर्स का नाम देते हैं. फंडामेंटल राइट्स, बुनियादी इंसानी हुकूक. At beginning, fundamental rights were not provided in the constitution, but later they were incorporated in the constitution with some exceptions. Okay, बुनियादी इंसानी हुकूक, the right of life and liberty and social justice, जो भी कानून थे, they were not provided, but later on they were included by certain amendments into the constitution. Independence of judiciary. Judiciary was independent from executive. Clear that management had no control over judiciary. They were fair and free in deciding their matters. Principles of policy. First time principles of policy were introduced in constitution, which were guided principles for the government. और ये what is a principle of policy? बेटे, principle of policy means that they were the principles, guidelines that how the governments shall make policies for the people and the benefit of the country. They are called principle of policies. कि guidelines थी कि गवर्नमेंट जो है, जैसे एजुकेशन पॉलिसी है, जैसे बिजनेस फाइनेंस पॉलिसी है, like foreign policy hai. So they were the guidelines provided to the government in the constitution that they are the policy principles of policy, and under these principles they have to make other principles. ठीक है ना? तो principle of policy, they are very important things. Islamic, all the laws inconsistent with Islamic or fundamental rights were liable to void. कि जो भी कानून इस्लाम से तकरारी था, it could be void. Council of an Islamic ideology was constituted to review the existing laws, whether they are in accordance with Islam, just like 1956 Constitution. Council of the ideology of were made to judge whether the law designed were according to Islam or not. Fine. Second is national languages. Urdu and Bengali were declared national languages with the provisions of English as official language until the arrangements are made for making Urdu and Bengali as the official languages. For the time being, they decided that Urdu and Bengali are the national language, whereas English is the official language. But in the constitution, it was intended, explicitly expressed, that Urdu and Bengali will be promoted, mean the people will be educated and they will be able to train this language, utilize this language as a official languages. Basic democracies. A new system of basic democracies were introduced in place of the popular government system. All the system of the MPs and MNs, unki jagah par basic democracy was introduced. Members of the basic democracies were responsible to elect president, and they people would elect the president. Capital territory. Federal capital was Karachi, which was too congested area. Therefore, Islamabad was developed and selected as the federal area. Dear students, you have learned the salient features of the 1962 Constitution, and you can compare it with the 1965 Constitution, which was given by a civil government. Now, unfortunately, this 1962 Constitution was also not didn't work well, and once again there were some problems. Breakdown of 1962 Constitution. Number one, autocracy. Okay, one man rule. President Ayub Khan became the autocrat. Okay, it was one man powerful. Therefore, people became unhappy by the power of Mr. Ayub Khan, that he controlled everything in his hands. President Ayub Khan's presidentship. I mean, Ayub Khan framed this constitution for his own interest. Third thing, Tashkent Declaration. People of Pakistan were unhappy because Ayub Khan, after the war of 1965, in 1966, they settled many disputes, and in which the Indus Water Treaty, okay, the demand or the stance of Pakistan on Jammu and Kashmir with India, that was also compromised, and there were also many other national issues which raised, and the people were extremely unhappy. Lack of the provincial autonomy. Under Ayub Khan rule in East Pakistan, people were not satisfied. Okay, and they didn't have much economic prosperity, and they were also not being included in the provinces. Therefore, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, of the Awami leader, emerged as a protest leader, just like Imran Khan here in Pakistan now. And that political party, Awami party, became quite favorite, and Muslim League, which was the popular party, lost its, say, repute. Agitation was started in both East and West Pakistan, and students played key role in the decline of Ayub government. Students came out from universities and college, and they started demonstrating against the Ayub Khan. Martial law. Martial law was enforced, okay, and due to which it is also the failure of 1962. I mean, when Ayub Khan resigned, and again the martial law was imposed in 1971. Lack of checks and balance. In president system, there were many people who became favorite of Ayub Khan, and there were no checks and balance. President system of government was adopted, keeping in view it's successful in America. America has checks and balance in its system, whereas lackness is into the end. Ayub Khan introduced the system, copied the system for America. But in America, there is the separation of power. The judiciary is powerful, the legislature is powerful, and the president is all powerful. But here, president took all the powers in his hands, and this was the reason that the people resented. Difficult impeachment of the president. The impeachment criteria which was suggested in Constitution President was too difficult. In case president is involved in any illegal, unlawful activities, okay, he cannot be sacked, usko tabdeel nahi kiya ja sakta tha. Okay, there is a popular term, impeachment muwakhza, clear, that jury of the highest profile people from the judiciary and parliament, they would sit and they question from the president about that matter. And in American history, you find that impeachment is one of the very popular way to ask questions and remove the presidents from their office in case of that happens. Impeachment, for example, Bill Clinton had to face impeachment. Okay. Also, Donald Trump had to face impeachment. President Nixon had to face impeachment. So we find impeachment everywhere. But in Pakistan, no person could ask the president about anything. Concentration of wealth in few hands. दौलत का चंद लोगों के पास इकट्ठा हो जाना. Clear? The result of agriculture, industrial reforms, people generated wealth, and the industrialists and landlords and the businessmen families, they took control of the every wealth. And it is said that the 66 families hold 80% of the wealth of Pakistan is happened in that time of the Ayub Khan. Inflation. Due to war and mismanagement, the prices of commodities like oil and cooking oil and rice and sugar, they increased, and people started agitating against Ayub Khan, protesting against Ayub Khan. Dear students, this is all with 1962 Constitution, that the Constitution designed by a dictator in which he simply protected his regime and took control of much of the powers, and the provinces were not provided due right in their economy, okay, and also they were not delegated the political powers. Resultantly, the people started agitating, demonstrating, protesting, and once again the martial law was imposed and the Constitution of 1962 was abrogated or dismissed. Thank you very much.